Hello and welcome to the Darren Smith Photography tutorials. This video is all about macro photography and how you can get involved in it. Macro is a genre of photography allowing detailed images to be taken of small items. This could include insects, plant life, mechanisms, or just about anything that's considered small. It is a particularly versatile genre as you can take macro photographs anywhere and of anything. The term macro is often referred to by many scales of magnification, and their true terminology is identified here. A scale range between 1 to 10 and 1 to 2 is known as close-up. This could be any subject that is 10 times to 2 times the size of your sensor. Any subject that is 2 times the size of your sensor is known as extreme close-up. And anything that is the same size as your sensor or below is known as true macro. A true macro photograph can be more practically defined as a photograph with a subject height of 35mm or less. In other words, the height of a portrait-orientated 35mm frame. When taking macro photographs, you need to be very careful of the depth of field and the distance the lens is away from your subject. You can see here on this picture there are clearly some water droplets that are out of focus. A few zoom lenses have a macro setting marked on their focusing scales, but this is often not true macro, but allows the user to focus on the subject much closer than expected. Compact cameras will often have a macro or close focusing setting. This is one of the benefits of such a camera, as it makes it quick and easy to get into macro photography. Although every camera model is slightly different, if you have a setting that shows this symbol, you can take macro images with your camera. A true macro lens is often required for this type of work. However, there are also several other methods of obtaining a macro or extreme close-up without buying a dedicated macro lens. Macro lenses are designed specifically to allow a camera to focus on a small object close to the front element of the lens with high precision. They often come in 3 various focal lengths, such as this 40mm macro lens, which can be used for product photography and is wide enough to include the background, giving a sense of place. A 90 to 105mm macro lens can be used for photographing insects, flowers and small objects from a comfortable distance. An example of this is the 105mm macro lens, which focuses from 31cm to infinity. Larger macro lenses from 150 to 200mm are used for shooting insects and other small animals, where additional working distances are required so not to disturb the animal. An example of this is a 200mm lens which focuses from 1 meter to infinity. We can use a standard lens as a macro lens with the addition of a few accessories, such as a diopter lens. These simply screw on or slot into a holder on the front of the lens, and it's perhaps one of the cheapest ways of making your standard lens focus a lot closer. Several of these lenses may be used together to achieve magnifications up to approximately life size. Unfortunately, quality begins to suffer when we use these lenses. Distortions occur in the lens because of the shape of the glass used. This can easily be seen in the edges of the image. Also, light quality is lost through the glass, making some cameras struggle to focus. Extension tubes fitted between the camera and the lens will also decrease the minimum focusing distance. Getting the correct exposure is not a problem as there is no glass to interrupt light passing through to the camera sensor. Focusing, however, may be compromised due to the shortened depth of field. Modern extension tubes include all the electronic connections to the lens, and this enables the camera and lens to function correctly. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Please feel free to check out more at darrensmith.org.uk or on YouTube, Twitter or Facebook. Thank you for watching.